Well, hello and welcome to this little interview we're going to do, a little discussion, let's say, on Tennis Asia TV. I'm joined this time by, well, again, by Island Tennis Girl, which is what you're known as on X, right?
Yes.
I think the handles is it Island Tennis Ace, right?
Yes, that is
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can
But
call me
Island Tennis,
Leah. That's fine.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
your name is Leah. And we're obviously going to talk about Alex Eala, um, who just had an incredible run from qualies to the final. Unfortunately, finishing as runner-up
Yeah.
to Maya Joint, another talented young player in Eastbourne. But obviously, this was the first WTA final that she'd made. And after also, having a great year, having reached the semis in Miami. So it was a big achievement even to get this far. Obviously, you're from the Philippines and maybe not too far from where Alex is from originally. I don't know. It's around Manila, right? Sort of area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and you followed the WTA so well. So yeah, you're yeah, good to get your insights here. So just want to talk then about like first of all, like we'll talk about the final, right? Because I mean, I wasn't
Insane
able to
final.
watch it. Unfortunately, I couldn't really. I watched some of the highlights, but I wasn't able to
Right.
watch the final live. But I mean, it was quite a dramatic match, wasn't it? Obviously,
Yeah.
3 sets. Maya went up won the first set, and then Alex came back. I think 6-1 in the second set, and of course we had that tie break that was very long. I was just watching it, the score update, and I was just
Crazy.
looking at the score update. I was getting excited what's going on there. Um, well, overall, so like, how would you say like I mean, obviously the first final for Alex, but how did you think the match went overall?
The final match, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like it didn't really get into a battle until much later in the third set. It felt like they were sort of in a race or like one was sprinting faster and then the other would catch up and then the other would fall back and the other would sprint far ahead, meaning they weren't really for me playing well at the same time for most
Mm-hmm.
of the first two sets. It was really in the third set where it became like a real battle, and I think that's pretty common for many three setters that are not slams. I would say that first
Mm-hmm.
two sets is a toss up between the two, and the third set is really where the real meaty stuff begins. I believe in the third set Alex got the break first, but she got broken back, and then she was chasing the break and didn't get it until 3-4. I think she was 3-4, and then it was all square for the first time for all. F- um yeah, it was a really good match. Both are intense fighters. They're very competitive. They both are willing to run down balls and just play and stay in the rallies for as long as they can. I think Maya definitely has a better serve, even though if you look at her stats, she double faulted like 7 times, and
Mm-hmm.
they did come at some untimely moments. But in terms of just the serve itself, like setting up the point, the pace, I think she can definitely, if she's down in the score, she can use her serve to like get herself out of trouble, whereas Alex doesn't really have that option a lot of the time. I mean, she can. I think there were some points where she hit like a really good first serve and got herself out of trouble, but it's not something I think that's reliable for her. I think that gave Maya Joint the edge, and also I Maya for me is the better defender. Like she was getting to balls that she shouldn't be getting to. Like it was like in the corner, she was doing splits,
Yeah.
and she was defending really well. So It
And
really
I
came
remember
down to those.
in the last set, there was it maybe in the tiebreak, right? There was, I remember one particular point. Was it the championship point for Alex? I thought that I'm actually forgetting now, but it was, it was really good defending from, because I thought that Alex set up the point really well, and somehow Maya
Yes,
managed to
I
stay
remember
into it and
that.
save. Yeah,
Yes,
and
that
and
was,
that
I think,
was
second, her
championship
second
point.
championship point. Yes.
Wow. So I mean, great drama. I mean, that's that little moment there might have changed it then for Maya, right? So I mean, that just being able to, that little bit extra
Yeah.
of quality, right? In
Right.
there, but overall, I mean, you said like the first two sets, wasn't particularly good tennis from either of them at the same time, but was
Yes.
the final set was quite enjoyable.
It was. I think the crowd definitely enjoyed it. It was a lot of drama, which you want for a final. Like you want to be like thrilled, like oh no, who's gonna win? Which really felt like that up till the very end of the match. It was. I think in the championship points that Alex had, I actually rewatched it before our conversation. I think two of them were saved by Maya with winners. One was like a forced error off of Ayala's backhand, and then
Mm-hmm.
the other one was an unforced error. I think with her forehand. So overall, in those moments when she had championship points, I think Maya was braver than her in those,
Mm-hmm.
like a little bit braver. And sometimes it's just, those margins, those little margins that make the difference. But that's to be expected. It's her first final
Mm-hmm.
ever. Nerves are gonna be there. I believe that's also why the first two sets were a bit like topsy turvy between the two of them. They were both
Yeah.
nervous, like playing, really nervy at times. So yeah, but Alex also had moments of bravery when she saved the championship points against her, and when I believe there was this one point where she created the championship point for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was just really like a 50-50 um match that Maya just had that slight edge. I believe having been through a final herself
Mm-hmm.
recently in Rabat. So she had like that confidence that I can. And she has actually a lot of wobbles throughout the Eastbourne tournament where she was failing to serve it out and then eventually getting to it. She did it twice, once with Emma Raducanu. Actually, not once, thrice in that set, in that third set. And then with Blinkova, it happened again. I think those matches before made her feel like, okay, even if I'm down and I miss my chance, like
Mm-hmm.
I can still get another chance. And if I do get that chance, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna bring everything I've got.
But you could also say the same about Alex this week, because I would say that, you know, also like from what I've seen in that final tiebreak, she did play. Maybe Maya was a bit braver, but I felt like some of the points I saw there were brave
Yes,
from
definitely,
Alex.
definitely, definitely.
Um, all week, I mean, I managed to see not the final live, but I saw quite a few other matches from her run this week, and I was just really impressed with. I felt she was showing like a little bit more aggression than maybe I've seen more recently, and especially that forehand, going up the line, but then also you have the backhand
Yes,
cross
yes,
court
yes.
deep, very, getting them deep and with a good amount of pace on it. So yeah, it was good. It was good to see that sort of development and the strength in her game like that.
Yeah.
But
It was a
yeah,
real fight. I mean, it wasn't like she gave it away or anything like that. It was just that the fight just fell a little bit more towards Maya in the end.
and I don't know if you can see the screen there, but I've got some of the
Hold on.
results up there. I think maybe I'll get it up a bit bigger there.
Yes.
So you can see that there. So yeah, this is showing you some of her results this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, um,
I I watched all of her matches except the first one, the
so you can
first
see her
quali match.
coming from qualies,
Yeah.
uh, comfortably handling Bronzetti. Obviously, maybe a bit of luck in terms of getting the win over Ostapenko because Ostapenko had to retire from that match, but she was already up a break in
Yes.
that final
Yes.
set, and I
Yes.
did watch that as well. And okay, Ostapenko had an injury, but before that, Alex had got well back
Yes.
into the match,
Yes. I agree.
and Ostapenko was playing very high level
Yes.
in the first set as she can, and obviously she was kind of destroying Alex's serve as well.
Yeah.
But Ostapenko has that level in her, but then eventually Ayala sort of caught up and was able to, find her, you know, adjust to the play of Ostapenko,
Right.
and Ostapenko maybe dipped a little bit, um, but yeah, so I felt like it was good for her maybe going on into the tournament that she was able to show that she can fight back like that,
Yeah. Yes.
and
Yes, for sure. I mean, even the Haley Baptiste match was really tough because
yeah, and
she had
quality
to
is
come down from a set down. She come back from a set down, and the first two, yeah, like the first two sets were tie breaks. So it was really tough. I watched it. It was a very physical match. So the fact that she was able to not, a lot of people say that losing a tie break for the first set is like really brutal because you gave so
mm,
much and you didn't get anything for it. And the fact that she was still able to, like, believe and continue despite losing the first set in a tie break was really great.
yeah, and the second match, sorry, well, not second match, the match after in the quarterfinal against Yastremska, she, yeah, definitely deserved to win that. I mean, the score
Yes.
maybe it was a fair reflection, and that Yastremska had a lot of errors, but I mean that was in part because of Ayala's play, just consistent deep balls, getting a lot of balls back, and obviously the wind maybe
Yes.
that was a struggle for Yastremska, who likes to be aggressive and maybe can't play quite the way she wants to. So yeah, drawing out those errors, and felt like yeah, it was a good win for her. And yeah, going into the semi final, she was probably kind of favored right against Grasheva to win it, which maybe that's not the way she was thinking it, but it was obviously a big chance because it was because I think it was Krejcikova, right? It could have been
Yes.
Krejcikova, right? It
Yes,
was
it could
she
have
had
been
to,
Krejcikova. Correct.
yeah, but
Yes.
Krejcikova had to withdraw, and we'll talk about her in a bit. But yeah, so
Mhm.
Alex, she was up early as well in that semi final. In the first set, she went up a break, or it was a double break, right? And then Krasheva came back, and then Alex managed to
Yes.
step up and
Right.
finish that first set seven
Yep.
five. Grasheva then comes back, and definitely that second set, she was on top, and Alex's level did dip a bit. And
Actually,
going
Alex led in the second set first,
right,
and then Gracheva came back, and then yeah,
right. That's right, right. I almost forgot about that. And
right.
then and then in the final set, though, it felt like Grisheva was kind of carrying that momentum on a bit into the third set. It was
Mm-hmm.
fairly even, but I felt like maybe sort of Grisheva was, she still was got an extra bit of momentum and was playing well. But then I think but the key was at 3-all, wasn't it?
Yes, that was a crazy game.
Yeah, and you were worrying as well because obviously Ayala, she's vulnerable in serve,
Yes,
and when it got to it went to juice, and it went on for quite a long time, right? That
yeah,
that game, but yeah, I felt like that was a great
definitely key
game in the
moment.
end. Yeah, and yeah, and I remember thinking at the time, like, if she does hold on here, I wouldn't be surprised if she goes on and breaks and
Right.
then closes it out. So that's exactly what she did, and um, yeah, I thought that was like maybe a sign of how she's matured, like the way that she was able to come through, because she had to. I mean, what do you remember about that particular game, the 3-all
The
game?
3-all game. Oh, I think she was up 40-15 on her own serve. And then there was the 40-30 was a Gracheva winner or something, but the after that she double faulted. That's why it got to deuce, and then it became tricky. I think Gracheva got one more break point after the deuce, but most of the during the deuce game, she was getting the deuce, winning the deuce points and getting the advantage. But then
Mm,
Gracheva would deny her that, like, the conversion to game point. But like you could see that she was not going to give it up. And actually, a lot of the people who were replying to me on Twitter, we did notice that she felt like she looked exhausted a little bit. Alex, we mean physically exhausted, but
mm,
it's like she pulled all of her reserves just to carry that game and like
mm,
hold eventually. And then when she did, it was like it was Gracheva who deflated a little bit, and then Alex
mm.
just like took her opportunity and broke the very next game. And then she served it out with no drama at all. I think it was like 40-15 when she served it out. So
Yeah.
that game was so crucial, and you could see her relief. Like she let out a primal scream after she
Oh yeah.
held that game. Yeah.
Yeah, tennis can be exhausting just the way the scoring system is. I mean, yeah, it was just key though. Yeah, I mean, it was great to see how, because I remember she was in that 3-0 game. Yeah, even though she was under pressure, she played with passion, with aggression.
Yeah.
She didn't back down, and eventually she came out. And then, yeah, obviously Grasheva's feeling deflated, and then Alex gets the break, and yes, maybe for the first time in a while, Alex holds easily, and what a time to do it in that last
Yes.
game. So, yeah, it was a great run overall, right? I mean, um,
Definitely.
and obviously this is on grass. I mean, now she's like won. I looked at it this grass season. She's won 10 matches, lost four, which is a pretty high
Yes.
ratio if you
Yes.
consider.
Correct.
And she obviously does better on um, the quicker surfaces. But do you think maybe grass is her best surface now, or what do you think about that?
Hmm. I think it's a fast hard court. She is
Mm-hmm.
just more comfortable and she moves a bit like the best. I think she moves the
Mm-hmm.
best on a fast hard court. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, when I remember after the semifinal of Miami, Jessica Pegula was asked about her game. What was it that made her beat all of these top players? And then their match went to a three set match, right? I remember Jessica telling the interviewer, or like during the in the press con, that Alex's ball is slow, like bounce is slow. And when she said that, I'm like, I think she's gonna do better on grass than on clay. And like her clay season was definitely not great.
Mm-hmm.
So I did feel like her the way that her ball lands might be better
Mm-hmm.
for her on grass, and she does like faster surfaces. It works better
Yeah,
for her game. Like it gives her ground strokes that much like a pop and like the pace
yeah,
that it needs. Yeah.
a little bit
So
more on her strokes, and then I think also the fact that in grass it comes in lower, and you have to get down lower, and but she's kind of comfortable taking it early like that, and
yeah.
that's more of her mindset. This sort of
And she
yes,
actually hits slice serves for her second serve, some slice serves, and it works better, I feel, like on grass. Like it's a weird bounce that they can, I mean, maybe if you hit that kind of serve on a hard court or a clay court, they would have time to get to it. But because of the surface, I saw some of her slice serves against Maya, that Maya was just like she lands it on the net, or like she just couldn't figure out what to do with it. And I think
mm,
that works better because of the surface.
yeah, and well, certainly I think the serve is something that she can improve on, right?
For sure.
And it's interesting because sometimes I watch and I think, yeah, obviously it's a vulnerability, and I I also think that's maybe what frustrates players when they play her, because they get a lot of break opportunities, but then she's so good at run return that she creates a lot of
Yes.
pressure. So I
Yes.
think in some way that's like kind of annoys players and gets to their head a little bit. She's always coming back like this until eventually some players she's able to break them down. So yeah, it's funny that, but like I mean, she definitely, that's a big thing that she will need to work on is her serve.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, if she had like a really good serve that could get her out of trouble, she would have converted, I think, one of those championships. Because I
hmm,
think two of them were on her serve. I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but like at least two of them were on her serve.
yeah. Uh, I mean, the good thing is that at least the serve is something you have control over. So there is a chance that, she
Yeah.
can work on that and get a few more free points out of it, which will, maybe help her in the long run and maybe win her a few more games or titles, right? So, um, yeah, another thing as well in grasslight. I mean, maybe you don't get to see it too much, but she is pretty good at like touch around the net and stuff like that. I think she's
Yes.
got good.
Yes, she is pretty good at the net. She just didn't have the opportunity to come forward with Maya because she was really controlling the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
But in her other matches, definitely like she was coming in against Yastremska, against Bronzetti. Actually, I think Bronzetti was the because her ball is actually great to come in because it's kind of like loopy and floats a little bit, so you have time
Mm-hmm.
to get inside. But yeah, I was waiting for her to do more of that, but I think Maya just didn't give her enough time to come in and take the some of the balls at the net, or like maybe hit a drop shot or something. Yeah, but she is I did notice this run that her net game was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she does. She overall, she's her baseline play and her general touch and net skills are great. So if she could just improve that serve a little bit, then who knows how far she can go. And well, obviously, she has to move on from this. It's been a great week on the grass, and she's come through from qualies.
I
But she'll
actually
then.
wanted to add the one thing that we didn't discuss, but I noticed an improvement on is her conditioning. Like
Mm,
she has played say seven matches in a row,
mm,
and yes, she did show some exhaustion in the Gracheva match, but in general, because before, I would notice that she would fade a little bit physically in the
yep.
third set. Like last year, this was like last her matches last year. But now you don't see it. Like she can
Mm-hmm.
sustain her level of play up until how many hours or how many sets that she needs to win. So I think that's a really good improvement for her game.
Yeah, that's great, and she might need that to going forward into
Yes.
Wimbledon because, yeah, as I said, like, but she has come from qualifying, so she's played a lot of matches. Um, do we worry at all that she might be a little bit fatigued, if mentally or physically, going into obviously a huge match, which is going to be on center court, right, on Tuesday, right, because it's
Yes.
the women's. She's playing Barbora Krejcikova, who is the reigning champion at Wimbledon. So that's why she will open first on Tuesday. It's still, I mean, it's a huge honor and an exciting opportunity for Eala, though, right?
Major. I'm sure she is thrilled. Like, who gets to play your main draw debut and at Wimbledon on center court? I mean, I'm sure she's like thrilled. Of course, it's a huge challenge, but also such an amazing opportunity for her.
Yeah.
Mentally, probably, yeah, probably. I mean, it was a tough loss, and you can see that she was so heartbroken to
Mm-hmm.
lose. So maybe it might take some time for her to get over it, and maybe she was mentally exhausted. But
Actually, I wanted, before we go on and talk about the Wimbledon, I just wanted to say, like, it was a really good speech that she gave, even under the
Yeah.
with a lot of emotions.
Right.
I thought she gave a really nice speech, and you know, like she, you know, a lot of people at Eastbourne, they might have not really known about her beforehand, but she
Right.
probably gained a few fans after
I hope.
her
Yes.
efforts. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, she's got a warm personality. I think,
Yes. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, it was a really nice speech considering how emotional she was after the loss. And yeah, I think they had good camaraderie. I mean, she and Maya,
Mm,
they're around the same age also, right? This is like the youngest Eastbourne final in a long time since
hmm.
Tracy Austin. I forgot who she was playing again, but like yeah,
Right.
yeah, it was a good, very classy, very warm speech for her, despite the painful loss.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so exciting for her to be able to go on and play centre court against Krejcikova. Krejcikova, of course, had to withdraw from before her quarterfinal match in Eastbourne. So she's got some doubts about her fitness going into this.
Mm.
And obviously, Alex has just come off a really good grass season, even though she lost that final. A lot of matches won, and probably feeling good about her game on the grass, and probably helps that she's got a little bit of time extra to prepare, starting on
Yeah.
Tuesday rather than Monday.
Yes.
Um, what are your thoughts then on about how this match might go?
Mm. I mean, as you said, Krejcikova hasn't played that many matches aside from her withdrawing from Eastbourne for a right thigh
Mm,
problem. She hasn't really played that much this year. I think she only maybe had 6 or 7 matches or something like that this year. So yes, that she might not be like as match ready and maybe might be physically hampered, but she is still a two-time Grand Slam champion. And even with her matches at Eastbourne against Jodie Burrage and Harriet Dart, she saved
hmm.
match points on both of those matches. Like she was down but like never out, and she still came out on top. So you can never really count her out, Barbora. And I think even in throughout Alex's run in the grass season, not just with Eastbourne, but in her other tournaments like Nottingham, Ilkley, she, I think, hasn't met someone with the level of creativity that Barbora has. Like, Barbara
Yeah,
has everything. Like, she can
yeah.
hit every shot, and she can make you, she can hit the slice, she can make you come forward, like she's diabolical that way. I don't think that Alex has met anyone
Yeah.
who has prepared her to play Barbara, but at the same time she can do things during the match that can take advantage of Barbara's like
Mm,
not physical, maybe not so fit. Maybe particularly, I think she should move Barbara front to back to front, not just
mm,
laterally. Like, I think when I rewatched some of the match against Jody did that really well in a lot of points where she was trying to move Barbara forward and then passing her, and she had a lot of success using those tactics. So I think if Barbara is really physically hampered, that's a good tactic for Alex to do, like to really move her all over the court, not just like
yeah.
laterally, but that. And of course, she has to serve like a high percentage. Like she has to be in the
Mm,
70s, I think, for first serve.
right.
Otherwise, Barbara is going to pressure her on return because she is also a very good returner, but and also the mental side because Barbara is
Yeah.
so tough. She's tough
Mm,
to, like, you really have to beat her unless she
yeah.
has an off day, which sometimes can happen. Like, she can like
Yeah.
have an off day, but more or less you really have to beat her and you have to be tough.
Yeah. And I've no doubt that. Barbora is obviously going to try and attack that serve early on, and just create that pressure early on, create that doubt for Alex. But on the other hand, yeah, of course, Alex has the ability to fight back. She's going to have the confidence to go for it this time. Which and I think the way she's played in some of these matches in Eastbourne is going to help
Yeah.
her in this match. And yeah, it's yeah, obviously she's played on the big stage now. She's obviously been in the WTA final, but now that big run in Miami, and that's a big
Yeah.
stage. So she's kind of used to it now, right, in a way. So that's probably helping her a little bit. Obviously, Wimbledon,
Yeah.
it's a
That
new
that's
is a
kind of different,
new
but
is
yeah.
a new level, but I think she's gonna just approach it the same way. And yeah, it's an intriguing one, and maybe it's one that I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 3 sets, right? That's
Yeah.
not that's yeah. So, and perhaps she can get the win, and that would be extremely exciting. I mean, I can only imagine. Obviously, there's already been a lot of attention on Eala in the Philippines, right? And
Yeah, for sure.
but even more now going into Wimbledon. Of course, Eala's a junior slam champion, right?
Yes, in the US Open, I
U.S.
believe.
Open, right? Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know what her result at Wimbledon was, but
I
yeah.
actually don't know either.
But
So
anyway,
sorry.
it's okay. Yeah. So an intriguing match coming up, and then I'm just going to try and get up the. Okay, so we've got here, and particularly Eala's section. So she's there drawn
Yes.
against Krejcikova, who's the 17th seed. I wonder if perhaps as well, Krejcikova, obviously being last year's champion, there's going to be pressure for her as well in terms of
Yes, for sure.
she's going to lose a lot of points if she loses this match. And it's
Yes.
actually, a match that she could lose, I think. But let's say, I think this match, against Krejcikova maybe is like it's a close one. Maybe you give a slight
Yeah.
edge to Krejcikova just because she is her pedigree, obviously,
Yeah.
having won Wimbledon, has even though she hasn't had the best year, and obviously preparation for this, you still maybe give her an edge, right? But Alex, I think, has a great
A
chance to win
chance.
this
Yeah.
match, and if
Yeah.
she was to win it, it gets maybe a little bit easier in the second round. But do you see what realistically do you think? Obviously, do you think she can get? How far do you think she can go?
Provided that she gets past
Yeah, obviously that's a big if, but
Krejcikova. Yeah. It depends on who comes out of that bottom section for her third round. I
mm-hmm,
mean, if it's Emma Navarro, I would give the edge to Emma. I would say because I think Alex has a lot of high chances against players who play first strike tennis
mm-hmm,
because of her return, and she can pressure them to make mistakes and to extract errors, but it's much harder for her to play against counter punchers, people who can just keep the rally going
mm-hmm.
longer and longer, and who are great movers who can get to every ball. So I think if Emma is the one coming out of that section, I think that's going to be hard. She might have better chances against um
You got Kvitova there.
Kudermetova. Yeah, I think like her game style is a little bit similar to Yastremska, and like I think she might have, if Nika has a bad day, she might have a chance there, like to pressure her. So yeah, and then if she does get past that, the top seed in the other side is Mira Andreeva, who isn't really that great on grass. I mean, she
Mm-hmm,
doesn't have great results on grass, but
mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows what can come out of it? Honestly, for me, I'm
I,
just happy to like watch her
yeah,
go through this first season because it's really her first season on tour. I don't have that many expectations, but I
Yeah,
will be happy, of course, if she gets to beyond the third round. It's gonna be great. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Of course, like she hasn't won a slam match yet, right? So
yeah,
just to get that first one would
that's
be,
right.
great, great. So,
That's right.
so, so Krejcikova, yeah, it's like it's amazing to say, but like because she hasn't had that much experience, but it's a winnable match to say that she.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, what we know of Alex is that she will fight. Like, she will not
Mm,
be like a passive participant in a match. Like, she will always try to figure it out. So I think it'll be a great match
yeah,
between her and Krejcikova. And even if she move forward to the next few rounds.
yeah. I mean, she gets the win against Krejcikova, which is on definitely going to be in center court. But then she goes, let's say she goes into the second round, she has to play Dohide or Russ. Then it's like maybe going to be some outer court somewhere. So then it's like it changes a
Yeah,
little bit in terms of the
that's
dynamics, the
true.
feeling. So
Right. Yeah.
you have to, another thing you have to adapt to in you know and because I've been
True.
to Wimbledon, some of those outer courts as well. There's not that much space around them. Like there's just like
Right.
it's a kind of it's an interesting atmosphere, but like because there's like some of the small courts, so many of them side by side.
Right.
But yeah, but it's going to be one I'm sure we're all going to be looking forward to watching on Tuesday. Okay, so thank you very much, Leah, for joining me for this talk. And yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to the Wimbledon and obviously watching Eala, especially when she
Yes.
walks out on the centre court. Uh,
Yes.
any final thoughts you want to say before?
No, no, not really. I just hope that maybe some network in the Philippines picks up, like, is able to stream
Oh,
the match. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but
mm,
that would be a huge opportunity, and it would be great. It's like a good time slot for us, for our time zone. It will be, I think, if it follows the schedule for tomorrow. Carlos is playing 1:30 on center court, so assuming it's 1:30 again on Tuesday, that's gonna be what, 8:30 in the
right,
Philippines. That's like a really good time slot.
perfect.
So I hope someone like tries to get the rights to at least just stream that one match. That's gonna be amazing. Like, seeing her walk through the halls and enter center court. That's
Surely they've got to show
I
that
hope. I hope. I hope that's gonna
former
be
champion or
great.
the current champion, right? So, um, okay, yeah, great. Thank you very much, Leah, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
we'll look forward to that.